Wow. Wow, what a hand to start things off here. Very first two-card hand of the stream. Slicer waking up with number 1, JWin number 2. And this is a battle of the blinds here as Bones has King-Queen and raises up out of the small blind. So all of the cards condensed into the blinds and the straddles. Slicer here has number 1. This is going to go open, 3-bet, and 4-bet all in a row here. And JWin is going to think this is an amazing spot for him. As, you know, obviously Bones can be opening a wide variety of hands. Most of them going to be some sort of Broadway, small pair type things. You know, if he's getting off of the sort of beaten path of standard opening ranges. Plenty of stuff that can be pushed out with a raise. So then Slicer can be sort of punking him every once in a while. Of course, when you face this dynamic, even if it is in the blinds, you always have to give credit to your opponent for having still the top portion of their range. This is going to be a jam from JWin. He's just going to pile it for a massive amount here. And this is going to be Cooler City no matter how this plays out. Rip it one time. JWin needs a king. His diamond is covered, so running diamond's not going to help him. 6 here. 7 could be a chop. Needs a king or a 7. It's a 9 of diamonds. And just like that, first hand of the stream, JWin going to get coolered down to the felt. Slicer here, just an absolute setup for that man. Make this 65 to go. Opting for a slightly smaller opening size than the standard 75. Oftentimes what you'll see is, you know, a very conventional size like 3x, something just becomes the standard open. And, you know, it'll just be a consistent size throughout the evening for everyone. Rick here, gonna mix it up. JWin going to 3-bet him. 275 to go. This wasn't open to 65, remember. So this is a large 3-bet. A little bit too large, if you ask me, but Rick not going anywhere. He is going to make the call. Oh, sorry, JWin's in the small blind. Okay, I saw him behind to act. I thought he was on the button or something, but no, the raise size makes a lot of sense if he's in the blind, especially the small blind. So you're going to raise to a larger size in that case. 4x is perfectly reasonable. Okay, so queen high board here. Pretty tough spot for Rick. He's only on 1.5K to start the flop action. C-bet of 225 here from JWin. Rick with the top pair, backdoor straight and flush opportunities. This is a slam dunk call in position. If you had a hand like ace-queen, you could definitely raise. King-queen, sort of borderline. It appears that Rick is going to raise the queen-jack, and the unfortunate thing here is that when his opponent continues and does not just fold, he's going to then find himself in a really tough spot because, in fact, JWin's just going to pile it all now because Rick has so little chips left behind. And when JWin goes all in, Rick is now completely committed. He was probably going to get felted anyways, but the way that you commit your chips to pots is always important. The thing for Rick is that when you have top pair and the stack to pot ratio is what it was, which is like 3-to-1, you're pretty much committed with your top pair, but you want to get all the chips in a way that allows for your opponent to have a bad hand. If you raise here and JWin has something like ace 10 or something, right, that he's just like c-betting, and then you raise him, well, he's going to fold that hand, and that sucks for you. When you raise and then you get re-raised like this, or, you know, every once in a while he just calls you or something, like you're just hating your life because, yeah, and he knows it, right? Like Rick now knows that his hand is probably not good, and yet he only has 850 behind, and this pot is massive.
Oh, someone told me about this. I got a text this morning.
So tricky spot the way that you navigate these ones are pretty interesting.
But it makes sense that you fold there, though.
Rick is going to make the call. He does still have substantial equity, but really would like to improve. Picks up the king of spades. That's a good card. Queen, jack, spade. Here on the end, it's a jack. And there we go. Rick is going to get his money in well behind, but still with about a 1 in 3 chance of coming through, and does indeed find it there on the end. So JWin here losing to the aces on hand number 1 and can't win with the aces on hand number 28. Tough spot here. All right, Andrew here. Ace king, gonna go for a re-raise. Ming in the mix and JWin as well. Andrew and Ming checking it over to JWin here, who has ace high with no other equity. Backdoor wheel draw, I suppose. Checks through. 8 of spades here on the turn. Ace king looking pretty good at this point, especially when no one bets the flop. A bet would be for value here. 1,200 in the middle, and Andrew will bet half pot. This is also a bet to just deny equity. I mean, if your opponent had like queen jack, you'd be totally fine with just winning the pot and taking it down. Like you don't need to try to bet super small and get queen high to call you, right? Like that's not your goal at this point. But let's see if Ming will look this up, or perhaps even raise. All right, Ming makes the call. JWin's out of the way, heads up to a river. 4 of hearts, both players with the ace king high. Trip 8s on board. They will chop if we get to showdown. A little bit sketchy here for Andrew. He could go for a block bet, but instead he's going to check it over, and Ming here instantly reaching for chips. He has less than a pot-sized bet right behind. Bet size here will be telling as to what Ming is trying to accomplish. A large bet is intended to bluff. A small bet going for value. Tricky thing here is the ace king is just good not most of the time, a lot of the time, enough of the time that you should just check it and go to showdown. I would say the same thing about a 3 or a 4. Once you have pocket 5s or above, like you can definitely be going for value, but Ming is all in here. Ming is all in to get Andrew to fold the same or a better hand. And the glasses are coming off here. Andrew is like, what the hell? Again, let's go back to pre-flop here. This is a raise to 75. A call from JWin. A squeeze from Andrew. Call from Ming. Call from JWin. Then we check through on the flop. Andrew starts betting on the turn to the tune of half pot, 600. Ming calls. JWin folds. And now here we are, check and an all-in for less than pot from Ming. On the flop, it makes sense that Ming could have a pocket pair that could check behind. Something like 5s, 6s, maybe, or even like ace 3 or something like that that is just like, I'm not going to bet. I'm just going to check and just sort of hope to get to showdown. But a lot of those hands don't make a ton of sense to jam now, except for the like 5s, 6s, and 7s. So there's not a lot of hands. I mean, there's some. It's non-zero for sure, but it's not a lot of hands. And I think Andrew here is correctly identifying that there's a lot of just high card hands that raised and called pre. Then he's trying to figure out what calls on the turn, because no flush draw comes in. That's the weird spot. So he's down to like ace queen, maybe ace jack as his continues on that turn. There's not a lot. So then when you grab the, you call it 18 combos of 5s, 6s, and 7s, and you compare that against the combinations of ace queen and maybe ace jack, I don't know. It's, yeah. Andrew shows him the ace king. Ming's not turning over any cards now. As he should not. He gave away information on some of his hands previously. This would be a disastrous time to do so. Andrew has got this figured out. He does not want to fold. But I think he's going to have to. And Ming is going to sort of miraculously get his opponent off of a chop here, I think. Ming, you can see him, look at him fidgeting over there. I think he's just so excited that this is going to work. He's like, oh, I know I'm not losing the hand. Now I just want you to fold so that I get to keep everything in the middle and not just half of it.
Yeah, yeah. I had no idea. It felt like 30 minutes.
I'm going to go on this list for a 1-3 game.
Yeah, the thing with pocket 10s, 9s, jacks, things like that, like those are just never checking the flop. I mean, okay, I say never. It's just so rare that you would check the flop. I mean, because it's just such a great flop. 8-8-3 rainbow, are you kidding me? Like, that's a beautiful flop. And you never want to check something like 9s or 10s there. Ming will open the ace tray suited. Rick will make the call.
She doesn't know how to play.
Configuration. JWin has 7s once again. I think this is something like the 3rd time or 4th time that JWin has had 7s. He's going to squeeze though. Make it 200 to go. Open to 40. I suspect that Ming will call and then Rick is going to fold, but this could just go call.
You have at the line more.
But it will be a call. All right, let's see if Rick
Say over. Say over. Over.
and one last one. And in the garbage. All right, 450 in the middle. Heads up between JWin and Ming. JWin out of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Beautiful flop for a pair of 7s, though. 8 high.
I'll say.
And with the 450, I suspect half pot. Even more, yeah. 2/3. Nice thing about check raising a hand like this, if that was like the 5 of clubs, is that you could get something like, you know, 10 of clubs on the turn or whatever and just keep blasting away. But as it stands, the ace high here with no backward flush equity, and your only good cards being offsuited 4, and by offsuiting not a diamond, I wouldn't make this call. Ming feels otherwise. He's going to go for it. Thinks his ace high might be best. Checky. One more shot at glory and bingo. JWin running bad tonight. Can't dodge the 3-outer. Well, I mean, you got to throw in the other 3. Well, it's really 4, I guess, because the diamond doesn't really hurt. But in any case, 7 outs or whatever. Gets there from Ming. Still a pretty good-looking board here for JWin as well. Checks it over a final time. And he's gotten away from some spots earlier where Ming went for the river value. This is a little bit of a different dynamic, but let's see if JWin can see through this. There's 1K in the pot.
But you're assuming he's dead.
Oh, Ming's all in for an overbet. Okay.
Well, damn, it would be over $1 million then. If he's dead, he goes
This
back
is
to
max pressure. JWin here. No diamond.
But I'm just saying, he comes back to
Ugh, he also blocks 6-7 with a nut straight. Oh my goodness. I think JWin might have to call here. He does. He actually calls quite quickly. And having his opponent drill a wheel on the end has got to just be absolutely deflating. Yeah, you could see the expression there from JWin. He's like, how bad do I run? All right, JWin here, first to act, ace-4 of spades. Comes for a raise. 75 to go. JWin just trying to get some change here.
I mean, you know, if you want to play that too, we kind of like pick the same thing.
Make his
already,
wager.
so,
Andrew will make the call.
Do a swap.
King 5 suited. Ming, King deuce suited. And now Rick sitting on a couple of 6s. Beautiful spot for him to come in for a limp as well. Or a flat, I should say, not necessarily a limp. Caitlin and Bones are out of there, so here we go. Maybe 4 ways to a flop. Andrew really does not want to run into spade 4. Comes ace high. JWin here will flop best. Top pair with a wheel draw. JWin's going to check it, though, as does everyone else, over and around to Ming, and there you go. Ming checks as well. 4 of diamonds on the turn.
I love it already. I don't know where
Rick,
it's going, but I'm obsessed.
with the 6s, gonna take a crack at this. A little bit ambitious. He does block 5-6 very heavily, but
it's like a planned thing. Like I gotta take
thanks,
it.
Ragnar. Appreciate you. JWin now, of course, he's got a call. He's got 2 pair, and Andrew, though, with the wheel. It's time for him
But anyway,
to
the
raise.
koi thing I haven't had it, but I'm gonna get oysters and maybe I'll over
505, the old New Mexico bet. And Ming here, who turns the nut flush draw. Of course, he doesn't want to fold, but this is super awkward. This is a bet, a call, and a raise in front of you. Calling here is just like a death sentence to your chips. I mean, I say that, but he goes for it anyways. Of course, Rick now knows that his hand is complete dog shit, and he will be releasing it before long. The real question is what JWin does. And I think he just is getting sort of the price to call, right? I mean, it's weird, but 340 pot will go up to 2K. Yeah, Rick does correctly just get out of the way. And JWin is like, I mean, I kind of have to see this river, right? Yeah, so he puts in a pink chip to call the extra $5. All right, so 3 players to a river here. Andrew out in front with the straight. Needs to dodge a diamond, ace, or 4, and he will. Makes a pair of kings to go with it. So straight with a pair of kings kicker for Andrew. JWin checks it over. Really wanted to see an ace or a 4. Andrew now has to decide what size to go for. With 2K in the middle, I think you kind of have to go small if you're going to get called by anything. And yeah, 800. I mean, that seems about right. Maybe a little bit big. I mean, everything at this point just looks super value heavy, though. I mean, whether you bet 5 or 600 or 1,000, right? It just none of it really looks like anything other than a wheel. Yeah, I mean, Ming is able to fold his 2 pair, river 2 pair, which, I mean, you just have to. And JWin here, I don't think you can call. I mean, it sucks. It totally sucks. JWin's just been through the ringer here tonight. I mean, I think he's probably feeling like this is marginal, but like, can I please get a win at the end of the stream? I mean, this is like a slam dunk fold, but sometimes you can talk yourself into a call in a spot like this. JWin is going to make the call. And yeah, it's a straight. Our Sactoid can't have a pair of kings kick in? That's 6 cards. Yeah, sure you can. You've never seen the it's 7 cards, really.